Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So this is the first video in our Swift course. I am Chidumen Namde and I'll be your instructor and guide in this Swift programming language course. Now let's begin with the introduction and also a brief history of Swift. The story of Swift begins in 2014 when Apple introduced it at their Worldwide Developers Conference. Now, back then, developers primarily used Objective-C to create apps for Apple devices. Now, while Objective-C had its complexities, it was so much harder to learn and also to use. Now, Objective-C was the object-oriented version of C, which was then the most powerful language and currently the most powerful language because it is used to program operating systems and all these embedded systems, which are very close to assembly language and machine binary. So Objective-C came and it brought out the objective programming version of the C language. Now, while also encompassing the power and speed of C, Objective-C in all its complexities was still very harder to learn and also to use. Now, Apple considered and it brought out Swift. Now, Swift entered the scene as a modern alternative, now designed to be faster, safer, and easier to learn and use. Now, you might be wondering why choose Swift over other programming languages? Well, Swift has a lot of advantages over other programming languages. First, Swift is incredibly fast and compiles its code efficiently. Swift compiles down to machine level. That's why it is very fast. Now it has safety. Swift prioritizes code safety, and also it has built-in features to prevent errors and also make your code more reliable. This means it has less debugging time and also you have more time creating your apps. Now, Swift code is readable. So Swift code is known for its clean and concise syntax. It is easy to understand and even for beginners, making learning and collaboration a breeze. Now, whenever you program using Swift, you are programming apps that will perform in the world of Apple platforms. So Swift is the primary language for developing apps for iOS. iOS is the most popular devices of the Apple ecosystem, the iPhone and the iPad. Now, currently we have the iPhone 15 Pro, which is the flagship model for the Apple iPhone. So, and also we have the Mac OS, the MacBooks Pro and Air. So whenever you are working with Swift, you can also program apps for the Mac OS. Now we have the Watch OS coming, like you have the Series watches and the Series Max, like the Series 8, Series 7, Series 9, and the Series Ultra. So whenever you learn Swift and you program with it, you can also program for your Watch OS. Then we have the TV OS and the latest addition in the Apple ecosystem, which is the Vision OS, their virtual reality. So when you are learning or coding Swift, you're also coding for the TV OS and also for the virtual reality devices in Apple. So as you can see, Swift opens a door to a vast world of possibilities for app development across Apple's ecosystem. So now that's all for our introduction to Swift. Now let's look at our course outline. In the first, we have the introduction to Swift in our unit 1. Now this unit 1 will have overview of Swift programming language, which will cover brief history of Swift, advantages of Swift over other programming languages, and introduction to Apple platforms, which is this current video. Now in our video 2, we will have setting up Xcode and Swift Playground. So we will learn how to install our Xcode, introduction to the Xcode interface, and running a basic Swift Playground. We'll also look at how to install the Swift Playground. Now, the Xcode and Swift Playground are two apps used to develop Apple apps. Now, Xcode is the official and the main app. Then Swift Playground is used to learn Swift. So it makes it very easier instead of you starting up the heavier and bulkier Xcode app. Then in the next video 3, we will learn the basic syntax and structure of Swift. So we will learn the syntax rules in Swift, declaring variables and constants, and the basic data types in Swift. In the video 4, we'll learn about variables, constants, and data types. So here we'll deep dive into variables and constants, different data types and their usage, and also learn about the type inference in Swift. In the video 5, in this unit 1, we'll look at comments and printing output. So in this video, it will learn about the importance of comments in code, different types of comments in Swift, and printing output to console. So this is the end of the unit 1. We'll have 5 videos for this unit 1. Now this current video being the first video in the unit 1. Then after that, we'll enter unit 2. The unit 2 will cover control flow. So in the first video in the control flow, we'll have conditional statements. There we'll learn about the if else switch repeat statement. So we'll learn how to use the if else statements for decision making, and also Swift switch statements and pattern matching. In the second video, we'll learn about loops. The first statement, while statement, repeat while. Then in the third video, we'll learn control transfer statements, the break, continue, and fall through. So in the fourth video, we'll learn about the ternary operator, the syntax, and the examples. And after that, we'll enter the unit 3, which will cover collections and functions. This first video in this unit will cover on array and array operations. It will introduce arrays and array operations like appending, removing, and accessing elements. Then in the second video, we'll learn about dictionaries and dictionary operations, understanding dictionaries, and also how to perform operations on dictionaries, adding, removing, and updating elements. In the third video, we'll learn about sets and set operations, exploring sets in Swift, intersection, union, and difference. Then in the fourth video, we'll learn about defining and calling functions, declare functions in Swift, function parameters and return types, calling functions with different arguments. Then in the fifth video, we'll learn about function parameters and return values. So we'll explore the advanced function parameter features and how to return multiple values from a function. Then in unit 4, we'll have object-oriented programming. There we'll learn about the OOP concepts, paradigm, classes and structures, properties and methods, and also initializing processes for classes and structure. Then in unit 5, we'll now look at the advanced topics and projects like error handling, optionals and optional chaining, closures and closure expression, generics. And then finally, we'll now have a project introduction where we will now create to-do list calculator. Then we'll now have our final project demo. Then in each week, we will have our weekly quiz. There I will explain how our quiz format will be and the purpose of it, then the importance of the quizzes to reinforce learning. Then also we'll have coding exercises and then the final project assessment before the conclusion of our Swift course. Then thank you so much for this video, and then in the next video I will talk about how to set up Xcode and Swift Playground.